Okay, my friends, Roger, Mudfossil University. If you have young kids and you're a little sensitive to graphic reproductive system things, I would remove them. Now, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to get into some reproductive things that they had reverence for in the ancient texts. And what am I talking about? Vaginas. You know I'm big into vaginas. Now, so what are we going to do? Well, we're going to get into some vaginas. Now, what did they think of them? And what was a vagina to them? Well, guess what it was? He says the ancient Maya thought that both leaving and entering a sweat bath had the meaning. Leaving was like rebirth, leaving the sweat bath. Entering was like being eaten. I mean, this is just too much for me, I'm going to tell you. And it says the archaeologists think the ancient Maya looked at entering a sweat bath as like being eaten because of some of the doors they found. These doors were built like the mouths of certain beings. They think the doors were the mouths of, that they were doors. They weren't the actual mouths. Now listen to this. There were also doors made to look like belly buttons. We're looking at creatures that belly button would be no problem to make a door out of it. Wait till you see what I'm going to show you. You're going to flip out. These also had the same meaning as the doors that look like mouths. What's not often mentioned is their locations are associated with the worship of a reptilian being. Now, as you know, I have found dragons and snake things all over the earth. And I posted up here, I was going to do a video on this. Now, this is on the Fair Use Act. And the reason I'm doing it is they're showing a sweat bath. It's a vagina. And here, let's watch what they have to say about it. Now, this is Zohar Stargate Ancient Discoveries. I'm subscribed. They have 447,000 subscribers, and they do some very nice work. I always give them a thumbs up because they do a good job. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at it. Okay, get ready. All right, let's look at this very carefully. See these balls right here? They come around in a circular pattern. See this? And you see that right up there? This is as much of the picture as we're going to get. This is from that same thing. Now I'm going to bring it down the best we can see it. But you can see there, I believe, is the urethra. I believe this is the structure. Now whether they put these in there or not, I don't know. Because there are anchor balls that surround different like sphincter muscles and things like that. It's amazing what your body's made of. And I also believe this might be pretty natural as well, because in between where the legs meet here, there's a little bit of a strip of tendon that anchors into the muscle, and I believe this could very well be it. And then of course you have the vaginal entry, and this was used as a sweat bath. They go in there and they talked about being born and eaten and reborn and all that business. And I can see over here, this is the type of tissue material that you would have in the fleshy area heading off into the legs. Now, I don't know about all this this looks like somebody carved it or something, but this is bloody muscle. And what happens is, this could have been somebody patched this in there, whatnot, to make it a good entryway. I don't know, but I'm seeing everything. I'm seeing a urethra, I'm seeing a vagina, I'm seeing that, what I think they might call it the vestibule, I'm seeing what might be tendinous, I'm seeing what might be muscle, and this is the kind of things they did. There was the Tracian womb cave too. Let's take a look at that. All right, this is the Tracian womb cave, and I absolutely guarantee you this is real. And again, the same thing. Now, the vestibule was here. The urethra was there. Obviously, that's the vagina. The tissue is surrounding it is that type of tissue. This little slit right here tells you this is real, because that's the slit that is the weld where the seams come together to fold after the blastula, which is the ball that forms your gut, inverts, and then it welds together. After you get waterlogged, it splits. That's what you're going to see in the womb caves. If you see that split, You're in the womb. Just to show you, this is what, normally there's a ball like this. It starts to grow, and at a certain number of cells, it pops inside of itself. And then you get this seam, the welds here, comes together. And this is where all your guts come, all your organs. All right, they were everywhere. And that's the seam, this one's split, and that's the vagina. All right, here's another one. There is that split, I'm just telling you. And you see these little things here? They call those, I believe it's called the vaginal wrinkles. And that's the ripples that are inside the vaginal canal. I mean, it's what it is. Remember I told you that other vagina wasn't gigantic? This one you could consider pretty gigantic. That right there is the seam. These are the vaginal wrinkles, or whatever it was called before. And this is, I believe it's called Son Cave in, I believe it's Vietnam. That is the seam right there. The vaginal mat or something, I think they might call it. But that's where it comes together and it welds right along that seam. Now that one didn't split like the other ones did quite as much. You know, it's got a little more substance to it. I mean, there was giants everywhere, and I mean giants. I have them on my own property here, over 200 feet tall, and I took samples of them personally myself, sent them off. They were tested. DNA is human. And I had the anatomist check to look at the body parts that I found and say, yeah, they're absolutely human. And this is absolutely a vagina. I can't say it's human. It could be reptilian, but normally the reptilian things that I have found are very similar to avian anatomy. Now, whether they have vaginas like this, I can't tell you. But I can see there's that split. This is real stuff. It's all very, very real. And it's been ignored and suppressed because it changes everything. I mean, it puts everything back to the way reality was before we got enlightened.